Hello, everyone. So today we shall be diving into manufacturing of ceramics and plastics. We shall be looking at different techniques in manufacturing these materials. So let's dive into this. Right. Let's start with ceramic materials. There are standard way of manufacturing ceramics, and these standard ways are either pressing process, extruding process, injection molding, tape casting, or even slip casting. But then there are traditional way also of making ceramics is known as green machining. In this method, it's a cheap one, it's not expensive. You shape when you talk about green machining, it's just shaping a ceramic into a desired form. So it is done before the ceramics is fired or heated. Okay, and this method though is cheap, but then the tolerance of the ceramic is likely within 20 to 40%. So they might likely lose up during that shaping. So it's not really the best when you want to shape ceramics, but it is cheap. However, the ceramic materials might likely lose. So the tolerance level is within 20 to 40%. All right. Now, after the ceramics have been machined, okay, in this method or using the standard method, either pressing, extruding, there is need to still fire or heat up this machine. This heating is also called sinter. Sinter. So when you sinter the ceramic, you are actually heating it up. You are applying fire. So after the ceramic has been made, there is need to what to still sinter it, and that is called the post-firing machining. In this case, or in this step, the the ceramic materials, and it will be what will be more strong. More strong, the tolerance will be tighter, and they might likely not loosen up. All right. So the key ceramic manufacturing processes are sintering, that is applying fire. Okay, after it has been shaping, we apply fire to consolidate the ceramic to make it stronger. Okay, and this fire is applied within 1800 degrees Celsius temperature to 2000 degrees Celsius for days or even weeks, so that the bond can be stronger. So after sintering, they also have the hot pressing. So they need to apply uh, a little pressure on the fired ceramics. Okay, so applying hot fire and pressure along with it, we also make the ceramic stronger. And lastly, we have what we call the hot isostatic pressing. Okay, this is different from hot pressing in the sense that the pressure is uniform, okay, and it is done with inert gas. Okay, so this allow the porosity in the ceramic to reduce when you apply this hot isostatic pressing uh, process on the ceramic. Okay, so these are the three key processes that ceramics undergo during manufacturing: sintering or applying fire, hot pressing or applying pressure, and then hot isostatic pressing, that is applying uniform pressure. Okay, then there is an advanced method of manufacturing. Okay, and the first one is known as the chemical vapor deposition (CVD). This one is very simple. In this case, you get gases. Okay, you get gases and convert them into solid, which will give us the results of the ceramic we want. Okay, this is the process here, this is the diagram. So these are the inert gases that is sent into the chamber. Now the chamber has the ceramic material that will form become ceramic product. So when these inner gases get into this place, they mix up with the substrate here in the chamber, and then we get the result, the required ceramic product. So aside from this chemical vapor deposition method, we also use reaction bonding method. In this case, it's just a mixture of some chemicals with the powder of the ceramic material. And when it is done, the result of the chemical reaction would be a ceramic product. It's known as reaction bonding. Right? Still on the production of ceramic and plastic. Now we want to delve into plastic now. Let's look at the method of processing plastic. Okay, there are various methods for processing plastic, but then we shall be looking at the three major methods. The first one is called the injection molding. Injection molding. The second one is known as the blow molding, and the third one is known as the thermoforming. Now let's talk about the injection molding. For the injection molding, plastic material is heated to a fluid state. Okay, as you could see in this diagram. Okay, this is the pellet or the powder form of the plastic material. Okay, so it's been heated, and when it's been heated, it becomes fluid. So this is the chamber where the plastic pellet become fluid, and when it has become fluid, when it has become a fluid, gradually it's being cooled and being injected into a small mold. This is the mold shape. So by the time you inject this cooled plastic material into this small shape, then the shape is formed. You could see that's the plastic being formed now. So the process is being, the pellet is being sent into the chamber where it's being heated up into a fluid, and from there it is forced into a cold mold. This is the mold now, the shape at which the shape that the ceramic material should form. And then when the cooled plastic material is being sent into the cold mold, then the plastic is formed. So this method is called the injection molding method, because this injection unit ingests the cooled plastic material into the mold. All right. The second method is known as the blow molding method. This method is used when you want to create a plastic item with hollow shape. So let us see how this is being done. Okay, so this method is known as the blow. It's known as the blow molding method. So in this case, what happens is that a molding tube is inflated with compressed air to conform to a chill mold. Okay, now look at this process. Now this is the molding mode here. Okay, so and this now inflated. Okay, this is the molding mode there, and it's being inflated by air, and that air give us the shape. So that shape is now a plastic shape, like a plastic bottle, like a bottle water that we take. So this shape now is not plastic. Okay, this molding mold here is plastic material. This here, this one here. Okay, let me give you a pause so we understand what we are saying. So at this stage now, it's in its molting stage, but then a compressed air is being sent from here into that molting stage, and then they give us a hollow shape item like our bottle water that we take. So that's called the blow molding method, because compressed air is being blown into the molding stage or inflated into the molding stage, and you get the hollow shape plastic. Okay, so this method is called the blow molding method. Now let's talk about the third method of making a plastic. This is called the thermoforming. In this method, a plastic sheet is formed with a mold. using air pressure or mechanical assistance. Okay, now let us see how this is done as well. This is it. So a plastic sheet is formed with a mold. So this is the mold here, and this is the plastic sheet. Okay, so it is being achieved by applying air pressure. Look at it here. So the air pressure is blown, and then the plastic is formed using this yellow mold. This is the mold that formed the shape of the plastic too. Now, when air is blown into the chamber, then shape, the plastic shape is formed. You could see the air blows the mold towards the plastic material. This blue is the plastic material. The yellow object is the mold that gave us the shape, and then air is being blown into the mold chamber. It means sent to the plastic material, and then the shape of the plastic is obtained. This method is called a thermoforming. Take note that this method is for making plastic, okay, for making plastic and not ceramic. All right, and then the other method to blow molding method and injection method are strictly for making plastics and not ceramics. The ceramic method have been highlighted before, so now we are talking about the plastic method of plastic production or manufacturing method. All right, so moving forward, let's look at some specialized plastic processing. Okay, we have just looked at three methods of processing plastic, but there are some specialized methods. The first one is called the transfer molding. In this case, you see, this first of all, this method is for making thermosetting plastics. You know, we have different type of plastic. If you want to make thermosetting plastic, then use a specialized method of making plastic called the transfer molding. Okay, and how does the transfer molding work? Plastic is heated to plasticity before molding, then cured with pressure and heat. Okay, as you could see in this diagram here. Now, this is the plastic. This plus sign is taken to be the plastic that is being formed. And how it's being obtained, it is first of all heated up. Let us watch the process again. Now, this is the plunger. It's going to heat up the plastic. The plastic is inside. Look at it here. So the plunger sends the plastic into this heater, and when it gets there, it's being melted into plastic form. All right. Okay. So this heater is heating it up. This orange color is the plastic itself, and then the heated plastic or the metal plastic is now being sent. It's now being sent into a pressure part where the shape of the plastic required is formed. Okay, so this is where the plastic is now formed again. From the solid is converted to liquid form, and then converted it back into solid form, and this is the product of the process. So this is called the transfer molding process because it apply compression method and injection method. Compression method because the plunger compresses the plastic into the liquid form, and then it being injected again to form solid shape. All right. So aside from this transfer molding method as a specialized plastic processing, we also have the compression molding method. Okay, this also is used for producing thermosetting material, just like transfer molding is used for producing thermosetting material. Now, how does this work? In compression molding method, the material or the plastic material rather is squeezed into the shape with pressure and heat, undergoing a chemical change to harden. So there is a squeezing that occur, and then that squeezing will now lead into the desired shape. Okay, let us look at the picture. Let's take away this. So this compression molding method. Okay, so this is the okay. Let's take it again. Um, okay, back to what we were saying. We've talked about this. Talk about this. Before we go into before we go into the next method, let's look at it. This is called the transfer molding method that we have spoken before. Now let's talk about the next one, which is compression molding method. This is, in this case, we say that the plastic material is being compressed, it's being squeezed, and then the shape is formed. So this black object moving, let's see it again. Now this black object moving is being squeezed by this machine, and then the shape is formed and is injected out. So this method is called the compression molding method, where the plastic material is sent into the machine and is being squeezed to form the shape required. So it is known as the compression molding method. Okay, and the last method is called the reaction injection molding. In this case, we use liquid component. Liquid, we have two liquid mixed up together. This red part is one liquid. This other part is one liquid. So liquid components are mixed at lower temperature between 75 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit before injection into a closed mold. Okay, so it is this liquid, okay, that form the plastic. Okay, this one liquid here, this isocyanate liquid, and we have the polyol liquid. So they are being mixed up together here, and the mold here is now where the shape is formed. So it is known as reaction injection molding. Reaction because there's a chemical reaction between the two liquids that are combined, and then it is being injected into the mold to form the shape. Right. Let's talk about another method of producing plastic called the extrusion method. Okay. In other words, it means continuous plastic shaping. Now, in extrusion process, what we want to achieve is that dry plastic materials, okay, in form of powder, are sent into a heater, and then it is being made to pass through a hole called a die, and that die is what gives us the shape that we want. So this place is where the plastic powder is being brought, and through it goes into the heater. The heater is the one that squeezes and squeezes until it passes through the die. It is now the die that gives us the shape that we want, as you can see here. So this method is actually used for making plastic that are in form of tube, or in form of film, or in form of rods. If you want to make a plastic rod, or a plastic tube, okay, or a coated wires that are made up of plastic, you use the extrusion method. Okay, so again, we say it is done by what? By passing plastic material through a small opening called die, and then the shape is obtained. Okay, all right. Now let's talk about rubber. Now we've looked at production of ceramics, plastic. Now let's look at rubber, natural rubber. How do we produce natural rubber? Natural rubber are actually produced from a type of tree called the heavy Braziliensis tree. Okay, and it is found in countries like Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, okay, in the world. So these natural rubber are obtained from not just all type of tree, but some specific type of tree, like we have mentioned here, Avia Braziliensis tree. Now, let's look at some of the characteristics of tree. Tree has the height of 20 to 30 meters. Okay, they produce latex. Latex is is a material that you can get from the tree, and they are usually within 7 years old before you can actually get this latex. Okay, the economical lifespan of trees is between 10 to 20 years. Okay, now there are some material we can get from tree. We have the latex and we have the sap. The latex is the milky form of material we can see from a tree, while the sap is the liquid that supply nutrient to a tree. So they are different. And these natural rubber are not from sap, but they are from latex. Okay, so it is important to note that latex is distinct from tree sap. They are actually not the same. Rubbers, natural rubbers are produced from latex, not from the tree sap. Now let's consider the production of rubber then from the tree. First thing is to tap the rubber from the tree, that is, tap the latex from the tree. We have already mentioned the type of tree they can get the latex of the rubber from. So you could see, you get a sharp knife and open the back of the tree like you could see in this video, and then the latex, which is in form of milk, passes through and enter a container. You could see the man tapping this latex, okay, after peeling the bark of the tree. So that's the first step. The next step is to process the natural rubber. And how do you do that? So having gotten this content, the next thing is to now pour some chemicals called formic acid on the latex. This formic acid is now what help the latex to be what? To stick together, and then you make the you put the latex, the mixed latex into shape, as you can see here, into shapes, and then whatever step you want to take to get your rubber material, you can now do it. But you must mix it with formic acid and then put them into shape, as you can see here, so you can get different rubber products that you want. Very simple process. After tapping, you process it by adding formic acid, and then you put them into different shape and different sheets. Then whatever material you want to get from it, you can get from it. All right, so let's look at some of the application of rubber. We use rubber in making tires. We use rubber in making shoe. We have rubber shoe. We also use rubber in making hand glove. We use rubber in making balloons. Some medical tubes are also made up of rubber, and some glue that we use are made up of rubbers. All right, so this is where we shall be doing the cutting for today. I hope you have learned something from the manufacturing of ceramics, plastic, and rubber. Okay, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.